5 facts, 5 stories you've never heard before. Today, we uncover everything about the oldest board game in the world. Who is the most prolific composer in history? How a small harbor became the most famous in the world. What a visit to the dentist looked like in the 19th century. And what Marco Polo brought from China to Italy. It doesn't require any special equipment. The rules are easy to remember, and almost anyone can play it, no matter their age. All you really need is a piece of paper and a pencil. But even that isn't necessary. People have played tic-tac-toe in the sand, using a stick, a finger, or even small stones. And that simplicity is exactly where its power lies. There are no expensive pieces, no boards, no cards, just lines and symbols. 2 players, 1 grid, and a battle of minds. What's even more interesting is that many believe the very first games in human history were created this way. Before complex boards and detailed rules existed, people entertained themselves by drawing simple shapes on the ground and competing to see who could win first. Tic-tac-toe isn't just a game. It's proof that our need to play and compete doesn't depend on technology, money, or time. Thousands of years ago, just like today, all it took was a little space and a bit of imagination to create fun. Maybe that's why tic-tac-toe has survived for so long. Because sometimes, the simplest things are also the most enduring. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is considered one of the most prolific and gifted composers in the history of music. His genius was evident from early childhood. He was playing the piano at just a few years old and composing music while other children were still learning how to read. Throughout his life, he created at an astonishing pace. By the age of 35, he had written nearly 1,000 musical works, symphonies, operas, sonatas, concertos, and sacred music. On average, that means he was composing a new piece every few days. What makes this even more remarkable is that many of these works are now considered masterpieces of classical music. His melodies are instantly recognizable, deeply emotional, and technically flawless, created with what seems like effortless brilliance, as if the music simply flowed through him. Mozart's life was short, but his influence is timeless. Although he died young, he left behind a legacy that continues to be performed around the world. His story proves that true genius is not measured by the length of a life, but by what remains after it is gone. Rotterdam is one of the most impressive ports in the world and a true symbol of modern global trade. For years, it was considered the busiest port on the planet, handling around 300 million tons of cargo every year. Massive tankers, container ships, and freight giants dock in this Dutch city every day, connecting Europe with the rest of the world. But Rotterdam is not only one of the busiest ports, it is also the largest man-made port in the world, covering an area of nearly 100 square kilometers. An entire network of docks, canals, terminals, and warehouses was carefully designed to accommodate the largest ships ever built. Thanks to this port, goods from Asia, the Americas, and Africa arrive directly in the heart of Europe, where they are then transported by rail, trucks, and barges. Rotterdam is, in many ways, the main gateway to the European economy. What was once a small fishing town is now one of the most important logistics hubs on the planet. Its port shows how human organization, technology, and infrastructure can transform a single coastline into a driving force of global commerce. Imagine going to the dentist in the 19th century. No electricity, no modern tools, no quiet. The first dental drills appeared in the United States in 1872, but they weren't powered by electricity. Instead, these machines were foot-powered, much like old sewing machines. The dentist would operate the mechanism with one foot while trying to work precisely inside the patient's mouth with one hand. The noise, vibration, and slow operation made every procedure an uncomfortable experience. At the time, modern anesthesia didn't exist, so dental work was often painful and frightening. Still, these mechanical drills were a major technological breakthrough compared to the hand tools that had been used before. Today, thanks to electric and laser instruments, dental procedures are faster, quieter, and nearly painless. But it was those early foot-powered machines that laid the foundation for modern dentistry and showed just how far technology can take us in only a century. legend has it that Italy might not be the same without a single journey. Marco Polo, the most famous traveler of the Middle Ages, born in Venice, spent years traveling across Asia and living in China. According to the story, it was there that he discovered something that would later change the way all of Europe ate: pasta. As the legend goes, Marco Polo brought the recipe for pasta back from China to Italy. Before that, Europeans had many types of bread and porridge, but not the kind of food we now recognize as pasta. After his return to Venice, the idea of thin dough that could be dried and cooked quickly spread across the Italian peninsula. Today, historians still debate how accurate this story really is. Some argue that forms of pasta existed in Italy even before Marco Polo. Still, many agree that his tale helped popularize pasta and connect it with the wider world. Whether the recipe was truly borrowed from China or simply perfected in Italy, one thing is certain: from that meeting of cultures came one of the most iconic foods on the planet. If you enjoyed these facts, subscribe and support the creators. Until the next episode, goodbye.